On this episode of Deep Thrones, we review House of the Dragon, Season 3, Episode 8, The Treasons at Tumbleton. We go to King's Landing for Rhaenyra Targaryen's coronation. We go to Harrenhal for the reunion between Aemond and Aegon, and we all prepare for the battle at Tumbleton, plus many more hilarious segments. Winter is here.
Not to be messed with, tested quiz. They shooting shots, hitting bricks.
Welcome to Deep Thrones, the most entertaining podcast in the world of Ice and Fire. I'm your host, Sims. I've got both your other hosts here with me. Sheedy, what's up?
Hi.
Kinz, how we doing?
Hey, guys.
Is anyone else like sweating right now?
Dude. Oh my God, I'm sweating buckets, all right? It was a long episode, first of all. That was a long episode. That was like way longer than I'm used to from any of these shows. And secondly, as soon as Tumbleton started kicking off, I was like, whoa, I was shaking.
You could feel the heat. I don't know if my house is just warm or what, but like I'm definitely gonna have to shower after this episode again. Might be my third shower today, but who's counting?
This sweaty guy. Jesus, third shower.
In the summer, if you're like, outside in the morning and then you come home and you're like, oh, I'll shower, and then you go do something in the afternoon, then, and then now this was the one I wasn't really counting on, was sweating through Tumbleton. So
It's really, you and Damon both, man. Damon was going through it. He probably needs a shower or two. But that was a hell of an episode. Everyone, quick vibe check, Kins.
I mean, it was incredibly entertaining. Wow. So much happened in one episode.
Which we're going to get into the breakdown. The battle part is going to be tough. All right. We always put this disclaimer when we cover battles because there's so many cuts. So bear with us. And you guys feel free to add some flair as we're going through this if I miss anything. But there was a lot going on. All right.
In a good way.
yeah, a lot of cut scenes and jumps. So I'll try to let you cook once we get to Tumbleton, and then I'll try to add my thoughts at the end, but sometimes I get excited and just rip the thoughts live. So
I'll be Damon. You let me cook. Oh, good. I did a little thumbs up for a Zoom. I'll be Damon. Let me cook. And then you could be Ulf and kind of come in at the end and clean up.
There we go. There we go.
Should we get into it?
Let's do it.
Okay, so the episode starts on, first off, the most important character in the show, and that's Grand Maester Orwyle. And Orwyle's running through the Red Keep, and he brings word. He bursts into Rhaenyra's chambers. She's fast asleep. He wakes her up. Sort of a dream scenario for me to be like, hey, Rhaenyra, wake up. And he brings word to Rhaenyra that Aegon is alive. And Aegon and Sunfire absolutely cooked the Mootons.
Dude, Rhaenyra, talk about like a nightmare. Because remember last episode started off with her waking Helena up, and that was a little bit more gentle, at least at first. And then now she just gets news that her worst nightmare has come true. Aegon's back with Sunfire, burning up black soldiers already. And she freaks out. She is not happy about it. She storms into Daemon's chambers. Daemon's kind of like, yo, calm down. Like Aegon's dead, Sunfire's dead. Turns out none of that's true. But at the end, they do kind of start to chill out a little bit and think about the future.
Rhaenyra kind of toughens up over the course of the scene because she comes in crying about Aegon, and Daemon is kind of like, listen, relax. Like, even if he is alive, the guy is like super crispy. Like, he's not a threat to us right now. Like, still Vhagar is the main threat. Like, everyone knows that. And Rhaenyra, I think Daemon says something like, who cares about gods? Who cares about whatever? Like, you have an absolute power. And she kind of goes, you know what? Go take Tumbleton. And then after we've taken care of them, I will kill Aegon myself. And I was like, 3.5 seasons later, and she finally is like, let's get our hands dirty. We're probably gonna have to kill these guys, aren't we?
I think in this moment, she's very much like you said, she's trying to hold on to that fact that she's ordained to rule. And she's like, I sacrificed 2 sons for this. And if I'm not ordained to rule and Aegon was just resurrected instead,
Yeah.
what did I do all of this for?
the small folks see it as sort of the gods favoring Aegon, like
Yeah.
almost like he was dead, and it's like you see it a lot in religious ideology, like he was brought back to life, right? Like he is the one that the gods favor to rule.
Who would have thought that Aegon would be the resurrected second coming character in this show?
I know.
Um, but it was funny toward the end of the scene, Rhaenyra turns to Daemon and goes, "Do not make a monster out of me." And Daemon's like, "It'll be my pleasure, Your Grace." Like, is he saying that it would be his pleasure to do that? I mean, it's kind of vague there, but seemed
I don't.
like it.
Yeah, I think she was talking about too, like limiting casualties at Tumbleton, and
Right, yeah.
I'm really excited to see how he did. I can't wait. We'll get to the end of the episode. We'll see how that went for him. Bela and Rhaenyra have a crazy conversation. Bela is just like throwing smoke at Rhaenyra, and this is from the trailers. We finally see Rhaenyra like grab Bela's face, and basically is just like kind of like Bela's like you use people, and then when you don't need them anymore, you stop using them. And Rhaenyra's like, so that's what monarchs do.
I mean, yeah, Bela's got strong words. She's trying to rescue or arrange a rescue for Corlys. Of course, they found out last episode that Bela's grandfather, the Hand of the Queen, Corlys, is being held captive at Tumbleton. Um, Bela wants to go and rescue him. He's like, Adam's ready to go. I'm ready to go. And Rhaenyra is like, no, we're about to go continue the war at Tumbleton. There's no room for a rescue. Corlys made his own decisions, which again, kind of a hard line from Rhaenyra on the only person who's ever helped her to that extent, but that's Rhaenyra's choice, I guess.
That's what Rhaenyra does, man. She uses people and then just discards them when she doesn't need them anymore. Alan has a quick line with Corlys's men, just kind of like, I'm Corlys's true heir. You're going to listen to me. Alan sort of is like in line with Rhaenyra in this episode. Ormond preps at Tumbleton, and in the process of that, he knights Daemon. While this is going on, Tumbleton is very antsy and they're sealing the gates.
Knight's Darren.
Darren, it'd be wild if he
Darren,
knighted
yeah.
Daemon.
Would be very wild. Yeah, I mean, this is again, you see Ormond being kind of calm, cool, and collected while there's a massively large host outside of his city. So I think kind of behind the scenes of all this, you're kind of at least Darren and Gawain are like, why is he so calm about this? What's up his sleeve?
He thought he had an ace in the hole, and they did a good job this episode of building the anxiety with the music. It's always the score in this show is so good, but also they kept doing cuts of like up on the ramparts, and then it would zoom out and you'd see just how massive the host was gathering.
Yeah,
Um,
they showed scorpions going up on the battlements, but they didn't actually use them this episode. So I wonder if that's going to play into next season or if scorpions actually finally missed and they're no longer shooting 100%.
which is crazy, it's a complete fall off.
Both.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look at point shaving with the scorpions. Possible point shaving. Ulf is drunk in a tavern talking shit. And then from there, Alinda tells Rhaenyra that Helena isn't eating, and Rhaenyra asks, essentially is like, well, she's gonna have to eat. I didn't know if we wanted to cover the Ulf thing. He kind of just talking shit, nothing too, but he's getting sauced in the process. And then Rhaenyra tells her to get Alan because he needs to escort her to the Sept to be anointed in the public by the High Septon.
I mean, can we just use this forum to ask what the hell is the point at this juncture of going and being anointed at the high sept?
I think it's because Aegon, it's like it is a vanity thing. It's because Aegon was publicly anointed and now he is resurrected, so now she needs the public confirmation.
Yeah, but like you have to kind of know how that's going to turn out. The whole reason the High Septon didn't anoint her was because he already did it to Aegon. And now with the news of Aegon's resurrection, she thinks that what she's going to be able to coerce him into it.
Hey man, I don't know what Rhaenyra's thinking, all right?
I mean, Damon says it. You have the throne, you have the dragons, you answer to the old gods of Valyria. There's no like the whole conversation they had was around like, hey, just cool it. Let's take Tumbleton, then figure out what's next. But stopping Ormond and Darren is important, and then we figure out the rest. And then Rhaenyra just goes and runs on this escapade to be anointed.
Yeah, I don't. Can you imagine if that was like how Robert Baratheon was after he like, brought the Warhammer down across Rhaegar's chest and was like, "Better hurry up to the Sept." Better get to the sept
Seriously.
ASAP for my anointing. No, Robert didn't care. He was like, let's keep killing Targaryens. That would be fun, wouldn't it?
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I
Kins, what
think
did you
what
think of it?
is the point, like she's like, well, either I'm going to give them one more chance to anoint me, and then if they don't, I'm going to burn this religion, or like I'm just going to scorn this church
I
and
saw
prove that I'm more powerful than them, or like,
I think it was the public validation. Rhaenyra's like, listen, I went on vacation. I got to do an Instagram post. All right, it's got to happen. Got to get a couple of, got to let people know that I was in, Belize. So that was it. I think that was part of it. It was the Aegon thing. I think because we'll see later on, and we'll get to it in a second. But Adam of Hull says something along the lines of like news of Aegon's, resurrection, which is if people are using the word resurrection is gonna even be make Rhaenyra pissed. Um, so also in the process of all of this sort of it's very a montagey episode. My is just kind of in her quarters. Alinda bursts in. Alinda too doesn't get enough credit for being like an OG loyalist to Rhaenyra. She's for multiple
Hell
seasons.
yeah.
Yeah, she's been great. Bursts in and is like, your services are no longer required. You will get 3 months pay, and you're going to be sent to Pentos. You'll be well taken care of. And even Alinda was like, I don't know why, don't care to know, but you're out.
so
I
funny.
mean, I wonder if this is part of if Mysaria found out what Rhaenyra was doing with the with the High Septon and the anointing. I feel like Mysaria might have objected to it a little bit.
Maybe I think it's two parts. I think, well, first of all, if we look at it strictly from a just sort of like a performance review angle, she is not whispered one fucking thing. There has been not one single whisper for the Mistress of Whispers. So if we're looking at it from that perspective,
Hmm.
yeah. Secondly, Rhaenyra's probably realizing that constantly going to her chambers and getting a little freaky with her might not be a good look going forward. Like if they end up winning and
Hmm.
Daemon's her husband and that's going on. There's already so much strife. She's got fucking three kings that she's currently battling with the Greens. So she probably was like, you know what, this is an unneeded distraction. It's sort of what Tyrion tells Daenerys about Daario Naharis. He's like, when you go to Westeros, you can't bring a sellsword as your boyfriend, just quite frankly. Um, you know,
Rare good decision from Rhaenyra in season three.
she finally did it, and people doubted that would ever happen, but she did it.
And this comes
Uh,
like right after they hook up, right? So like,
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. HR, whoever the master of HR is gonna have a whole fucking absolute, absolute shit show on their hands. Helena is crying in the garden. She must be the master of HR, and a soldier is like, "We gotta go." As they're escorting her back in, Mysaria grabs her and is like, Aegon's alive. The queen's never going to let you go because you have his heir. First off, if you're Rhaenyra's soldiers, don't let him talk. Keep ushering them. I would be like, hey, stop that. What are you doing?
Yeah, I got the feeling that this guy was sympathetic to Helena because even when he kind of asked her, like, hey, it's time to go, it seemed kind of gentle in comparison to what we've seen on this show. And
Yeah,
she also saw a gray mare when she was walking out and she kind of froze up for a little bit.
it's a
So I
dream.
think that was telling, not so much for this episode, but for what we're going to see in the future season.
mm,
Yeah, 100%. Aemond is sleeping at Harrenhal, which is how every Harrenhal scene has started for the last two seasons, is someone waking up. Alice clearly saved him from the poison. Aemond is like, I can't believe my mom tried to poison me, especially after all the hot sex we've been having.
oh,
And then Alice tells a story about a boy burnt by Balerion. And clearly, I think it's her son. And she talks about the dark magic that she was doing to bring him back and how she's now cursed. And sort of like Melisandre has been alive for a very long time.
hmm,
Yeah, so this she's referring to when Aegon the Conqueror flew to Harrenhal and burned out Black Heron and
Mm,
allegedly killed all his family. We learn here that one of the sons survived for a little bit but was badly burned, similar to Aegon, a little crispy. Except except the mom wasn't able to save this crispy heron. And it turns out the mom was Alice. She was very emotional about it and she did some dark magic and ends up not being able to die. I guess it gives her, the curse of living forever. And Aemond is so pumped to hear this because he's like, "Oh man, this plays with my mommy issues so
yeah.
great." Like he smooches her right away. Like that was the best news ever for Aemond.
Oh yeah, he was absolutely he was torqued. He was fully torqued. And for those of you out there who are interested in the burning of Harrenhal by Balerion, turns out Warner Brothers announced we're going to be seeing that on the big screen. They're going to make an epic movie of Aegon's Conquest, probably a couple, probably two movies. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
Alice, very old, which is perfect for Aemon's MILF thing. Had a kid that kind of obviously didn't survive the Aegon's conquest. Very, fascinating. You think she would hate Targaryens because of that, but she's kind of got like a Targaryen kink, which is weird.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Maybe like a lost boy kink kind of, maybe she's got the same thing that Eamon has for moms,
oh,
but for kids.
she would have fucking
Uh
loved Peter Pan. Yeah,
but yeah.
the
But
Lost
and
Boys.
just to date that, I think Aegon's conquest was about 130 years before the events that we're seeing, so that gives you an idea of how long Alice has been kind of roaming around Harrenhal.
Cougar. Rhaenyra visits Helena. Helena says some shit like our dad would be ashamed of you, and Rhaenyra's like, whatever. But then she like Helena won't eat, so Rhaenyra force feeds her. And that was intense because Rhaenyra doesn't she's starting to get the edges. She's starting to get the edges, finally.
Hmm. Yeah, starting
Is
to get
it
brutal.
is it a is she trying to preserve Helena's life because she doesn't want the small folk to think that she killed her? Or is she trying to see like who the kids are going to be, like if they could be prisoners, or I mean, what's the angle here?
I think in a weird way, I think she's like actually trying to keep her alive for the sake of like probably Alicent.
Yeah.
Probably
Mhm,
for Alicent more than anything else. I
mhm,
don't think Rhaenyra outwardly would wish Helena be harmed. And I think even what she said to Damon last episode, which is like, I wouldn't kill that baby. Or she said that to Alicent, and then she said it to Damon about Rhaena. Like,
mhm,
I don't think Rhaenyra, she doesn't got what it takes.
mhm,
I don't think she would
mhm.
wants to kill to be cruel, but I also think she wants to use Helena as a bargaining chip against her enemies.
I would hope that's the case
Yeah.
because Rhaenyra has proven time and time again to not have what it like. Robert Baratheon's big flaw in the eyes of Ned was he was so vicious and wanted like when he saw Elia Martell's children by Rhaegar, he said, "That dragon's a good dragon," and they were children, and he wanted Daenerys hunted
Mhm.
down from word go. So technically, in this world, you got to have a bit of an edge, and Rhaenyra, I don't know if she has it.
Mm.
Yeah,
Adam quickly talks to Alan as Alan is getting ready to sort of lead Rhaenyra and Joffrey on their royal procession. And he says that line that, we sort of discussed in the pre-production meeting, which is news of Aegon's resurrection has sent the queen down a dark path. Alan is like, I'm doing my duty. And Adam calls him out. He's like, yeah, well, you fucking are doing our dad's duty. He's kidnapped. You don't care because you're Mr., Highborn now.
yeah. We're learning a little bit about Alan the Ambitious. It seems like he's going for his dad's titles, Hand of the King or Hand of the Queen potentially,
Mm.
and Adam's calling him out for it. This is an interesting. I think Adam of Hull in this whole episode, and maybe we can talk about it toward the end, but the way that he was portrayed in this compared to how the books were was a big disappointment for me.
Mm.
Um, and we kind of called that out when Corlys ended up in Tumbleton versus being at King's Landing, which was a big change from the books to screen. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think he's it. Not only was he disrespected and Alan stole his girl, but then now he's not even in the action at Tumbleton. I mean, it's just kind of a smack in the face to a great book character.
Yeah, I
Mm.
agree. And again, the reason they do that, I think, is because like Rhaenyra force feeding Helena is as mean as they'll let her get, and even that she's doing to keep her alive. Whereas in the books, the reason Corlys isn't at Tumbleton is because Rhaenyra borderline does what she does to Baela, which is has him imprisoned in the Red Keep because she doesn't
Mhm,
trust him. And they don't want Rhaenyra to do that. They don't want her to be like her imprisoning Baela is more just like go to your room like Rhaena. Whereas with Corlys, it was full blown like put him in the black cells. I don't trust him.
mhm.
So that's where I get a little angry is because no matter how gray Condal says he's made it, he hasn't. He still wants you to believe there. Rhaenyra just is like a little misunderstood, you know,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Oh,
Um,
competent.
what were you gonna say, Kins?
Just a little incompetent.
Yeah. Well, that's the issue, is in doing that, he makes her look foolish instead of being kind of smart with maybe a little bit of, Targaryen evil in her. which I would love that Rhaenyra. That Rhaenyra would be badass. Daeron and Gwaine seen Daemon's host. They have a great conversation where Gwaine is like, "We're so cooked," and Daeron's like, "Well, if we're getting cooked, we're going down fighting. I'll get on to Syria and I'll have to take wing." Ormond hears Ulf is missing and he's pissed. So he's like, let's go find that drunk bastard. The River Lords see Caraxes overhead. They cheer. Ormond's going door to door for Ulf. Uh, Gwaine and Daeron then go talk to Corlys. There's a lot going on in Tumbleton.
There's a lot going on, and this is the first that we see the little boys going up on the ramparts too. So this is part of Ormond's plan to make the bastard queen look vicious, and they're killing all these kids and all this stuff. Could easily be flipped that the Greens are putting little kids in harm's way. So I
They
don't know
are.
if his propaganda really accounted for that, but it seemed to be effective. At least made the blacks double guess in the scenes later on.
Yeah, they're putting kids up there because they're going to make Daemon essentially choose burning these children alive, or you're going to have to painstakingly siege sort of this settlement. In all of that, like I said, there's so many things going on. Gwaine and Daeron go talk to Corlys because Gwaine wants to make a truce with Daemon because let's be honest, he knows that their the Tumbleton is gonna burn one way or the other. From there, there's a lot of chaos in King's Landing. People are going all over the place because they're all going for the royal coronation. Um, and like Myceria kind of escapes because she has no escort. She's just with a dude in like a chicken cart. And by escapes, I mean she just gets out of the chicken cart. She just hops out. She puts her hood up and she hops out. And the guy who's like, he's just sitting there at the reins. And I was like, Rhaenyra didn't send a single guard with it. She's having her sent to Pentos without saying goodbye. She thought Mysaria would just be like, oh, cool. That sounds sick. Paid vacation. All right.
Didn't she have like four guards? There was like two in front on horse and
They
two
were
on the back.
so busy. They were so busy. They were just looking all over the place, everywhere except at Myceria.
Mhm. Yeah, nothing to add there except the scene that we get when Rhaenyra is kind of going through the same, I guess, rebel rousing that's going on. She's talking to Joffrey, and this is where we start kind of seeing the seeds of the Song of Ice and Fire coming up again. And she's talking about how it was disclosed to her from Viserys and then her father before that and passed down from Aegon. So yeah, she's at this point, I think she's lost it a little bit. She's lost the plot a little bit, and then we see how that goes later on.
And she sees Queen of Bastards graffiti. And that's when she starts talking to Joffrey. She's like, I'm not going to let it get to me. I am going to focus on the here and now. She kind of did a little bit of mindfulness. And then she starts telling Joffrey about the Song of Ice and Fire. Also, I loved Patty Constantine as Viserys, but man, the more you watch this show, the more you kind of hate Viserys.
Hmm.
People forget that
Yeah,
he claimed Balerion the Black Dread, the coolest dragon ever, Aegon the Conqueror's dragon. Viserys claimed him, and then Balerion died because he didn't want him to ride him. That's my opinion, is that Balerion, who was alive for like 500 years, as soon as Viserys claimed him, was like, I'm no way, not this piece of shit. Love you, Viserys, but you're soft as hell.
I
Um,
mean, this is all his fault.
Gwaine, who early MVP of this season, Gwaine has been amazing, takes Corlys to treat with Daemon. Daemon's such a piece of shit in this scene. He sort of Gwaine is suggesting a potential truce. And isn't this something, Chris, that does happen in the books where there is a sort of suggestion that the Greens rule the lands loyal to them, the Blacks rule the lands loyal to them? Gwaine sort of pitches that. He's like, let Daeron rule the Southwest. You guys rule everything up north. Everybody's happy. And Damon is like, that's not going to happen. And then Gwaine is like, well, I brought Corlys as a show of truce. And Damon like takes Corlys prisoner. It's really weird.
Yeah, this was. I think you're right. One of the sources does claim that there was kind of a peace truce. There, Corlys had an interesting angle. Gawaine's was never going to work. I mean, the realm was never going to be divided. Gawain was trying to have basically multiple kingdoms with Rhaenyra ruling one of them, Darren ruling one. No chance. Corlys's was a little bit stronger, wedding Darren and Rhaena, and therefore bringing the families back together. And having, I guess, in that scenario, would Darren then be Prince of Dragonstone, or I don't know. But anyways, that proposal was a little bit stronger, but Damon wasn't hearing any of that. And Corliss even has a great line here where he says, there's two paths here. You could either choose victory or you could choose a mountain full of dead high towers. And Damon made his choice of the latter. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, go ahead, Kins.
He's been itching for Dead High Towers since episode 1. So he's like, that sounds good. I'll take option 2.
Yeah, and then he chokes Gwaine and essentially sends him back. He's like, "Go tell your cousin that we're coming." And if I was Gwaine, I'd be like, "I think he knows. Like he sees you guys. You're all over the place." Aemon then, guess what he does? Awakens at Harrenhal. This guy is what kind of sleep schedule is he on? Every time we see him, he's snoozing.
I mean, he
Uh,
did. He was just like he's been close to death twice this season, so could be a
Well, it's not my problem, Wake up, wake, be alive. You're a good point though. He was just poisoned. He awakens at Harrenhal, and he's kind of freaking out because he hears a dragon, and he's sort of, running around the castle, and Sunfire and Aegon enter, and Aegon has a scene where he's telling him like, "I should kill you, I should gut you." Alice comes in, he finds out that they're betrothed, and Aegon's like, "This is what's gonna happen. You and I are going to find Vagar. You're going to hop on her. And me and you are going to take King's Landing. We're going to kill Rhaenyra. We're going to make sure Ormond's in line. We're going to tell our little brother to shut the fuck up. And then, after all of that's done and Rhaenyra's head's on a spike, maybe I'll let you live," kind of thing. Which I love Aegon, man. Let's go. This Aegon is the Aegon that I know and love.
Aegon's back.
Yeah.
I will say that the show does a great job. We were kind of complaining about the fact that it was very black and white and everyone's supposed to be the blacks are the good guys and the greens are the bad guys. But I think more and more, common sentiment starting to move a little bit toward the green side, at least like from the cool factor and yeah, the greens are up sort of factor. So I'm like the scenes with Aegon this season have been delightful, and I've enjoyed these as a strong Rhaenyra supporter. So that pains me to say it, Sheedy. I can see a little smirk on your face, but this was good.
You know, I will say something that I wish the show did differently is I think it's almost impossible, and I've seen this on Twitter, it's impossible to fully support Aegon because you always have to put the caveat of the things he was accused of in season one, right? And he was accused of like some serious crimes, some very bad crimes that he did to that handmaid, and the show didn't need to put that in. Because then you could have allowed the fan base to have an honest to goodness discussion without the caveat of, well, but he did this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people forgive Damon literally murdering his wife on screen. That's fine, whatever. But if the showrunners just, I think if the showrunners make two changes in season one, take out that scene, and then two, make Aegon kind of want it, kind of excited before his coronation, kind of like, let's do this. I want to be king. And then this whole thing going forward is like, well, he wants to be king, Rhaenyra wants to be queen. People are arguing on Twitter, and it's fun. And there's not that caveat of you're supporting someone who is accused of something very heinous. You know what I mean? I think it makes it way more fun for the viewers because that trump card will always trump everything. You can't really be Team Green because that will always, because what are you going to say? Oh, well, it's fine. No, you can't say that. And it's just the show, I think, fucked up by adding that scene.
Interesting, but like there's been way worse things done by characters in this series, not just House of the Dragon, but in Game of Thrones that people just forgive.
Yes, a hundred
So
percent.
like
But it's
I don't
tough.
totally agree.
It's
I
tough.
think there's plenty of people who've probably forgotten.
It's
And
true. A lot of time has passed.
I mean, look at how much people are cheering on Aegon's side quests this season. People have forgotten this already.
Yeah,
I think
that's true.
it's
That's
good on
true.
you for remembering, but I think this season definitely made things more gray, at least for me,
Yeah,
because it's hard to root for Rhaenyra right now, I would say.
I agree. No, I agree.
She's
Um,
she's consistently shooting herself in the foot. One thing that's dangerous here, though, that the show's setting up is the visibility of Sunfire and Aegon. I mean, they're very much at the forefront of conversations in King's Landing. They were, seen flying above Harrenhal, definitely. They were seen, basically wiping out an entire host of men. So the question mark of where Sunfire and Aegon are is probably getting a little bit more defined, and th that can lead to some serious things
uh,
toward the conclusion of this story.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Chris R. Sims over here warning about the toxic
I mean,
butterflies.
I'm just saying, just saying.
Chris is gonna do a blog post and be like, Ryan Connell doesn't know what he's doing. People forget George did that. George did that going into the season. Very angry. Oscar Damon and co. have a little war plan about Tumbleton. It's cool. There's some really cool lines. Roddy says some cool stuff about not being able to fucking wait to die for his queen. Oscar and Black Alley are there. They all look very cool. The
I
High
think
Tower.
I'll just add a note here that for those who don't remember, the Winter Wolves were sent north or sent from the north last season. They're basically the leftovers, right? Like they're not young, they don't have kids. They're not going to continue to fight against, manning the wall and things like that. So they're old men that were sent south intentionally to die. So when you hear all these lines about, I can't wait to die for the queen, it's not just, overkill. Like, how did they get so loyal to Rhaenyra? It's not so much the loyalty to Rhaenyra as they were sent by Lord Stark as like, hey, we're supporting them, go die gloriously.
Yeah, and that they view dying with axe and sword in hand is the most valiant way to do it. And the reason they're dying is because, as the Starks always say, winter is coming. They don't want to take resources for younger folks, another mouth to
Hmm.
feed, right? Daemon commands Roddy, he says, to, essentially take the wall, make sure you're able to open the gates and take the wall first. And Roddy's like, got it. Take the wall first, then die. He says something like that, which is just a great line. Rhaenyra goes to get the High Septon. Again, why? I'm not sure, but she's fucking committed. She goes in, bursts into is it the Septa Baelor? Is that what it's called? Bursts into the Septa Baelor and is like, yo, listen, I need you with me. And this High Sept is
That
like,
just that just threw me off for a second there. Is it this Great Sept of Baelor by this point? I don't think Baelor's happened yet. I think it's just the High Sept at
interesting.
this point.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Good call. No, I love that. But she goes and gets the High Septon and is like, listen, you need to come with me. He's like, I'm not gonna do it. He's like, Aegon is resurrected. I already anointed him. You have six dragons, but I have seven gods. And Rhaenyra tells Alan, she's like, all right, fucking kill him. And Alan hesitates and she says to him, like, you're the blood of old Valeria. Their gods mean nothing. And then Alan kills him.
Mistake. Huge mistake. No point. There's no point to this.
Anytime you kill these religious guys in Westeros, it's a big deal. It comes back to bite you.
I mean, the city's already restless. You're marching troops into a holy place and spilling blood in it for nothing. And then the scene that precedes you can go ahead and do the rest of this. It gets more outlandish after this.
Yeah, she gave her own speech anyways. What did she need him for? She goes out there and she gives essentially a coronation speech, and she's talking about the Song of Ice and Fire. She's talking about like how a darkness is coming from the north, and like you guys are all going to be screwed unless I'm in charge. And they do a good job of this scene because it shows even Joffrey. It cuts all the adults. Like Alan is sort of shaking because he just killed someone and regrets it, and Orwell looks at him. And then she brings up the Song of Ice and Fire, and he looks at Orwell like, "What is she talking about?" All the small folk are like, "Distant North. Who care? What are you saying?" Like, there's dragons overhead every day fighting. Even zooms in on Joffrey, and he's like, "Is Mom okay? I haven't seen her in a long time. We haven't really connected at all." It's very tone deaf, and she's just trying to justify everything in this validation.
You cannot underestimate the importance of what's happening here. And this is where we suffer from having a 2 year wait for another season because the impact of this speech is going to lead to uh, some very important consequences, some very dire consequences for Rhaenyra. They are viewing her as already someone who shouldn't be on the throne because to them, women aren't supposed to be on the throne. Now you're aligning yourself with these demons as they see it, right? Dragons are unnatural. We heard Ormond talk about them and how disdainful the regular people are of them. And then on top of that, you kill the High Septon. And by the way, he had already anointed someone who has just been resurrected. So, like, how do you expect for them? There's literally zero chance that this outcome leads to them accepting Rhaenyra. Like, to me, this is maybe the biggest fumble, and she's had a lot of fumbles this season.
Yeah, it was completely tone deaf. She had, and it's on top of it again, like we talk about, people seeing her as genuinely insane. like genuinely like, what are you talking about? And my Syria is there watching because again, she escaped. She escaped, if you can even call it an escape. She's there watching kind of angrily, like, how dare you send me to Pentos with all that gold? Um, and Rhaenyra in High Valyrian, which is not a language that these people speak, calls herself the prince that was promised. And everyone, all of the people are like, what? Huh? Huh? What? Because again, none of them speak that language. So why she says it, I am the prince that was promised in High Valyrian, what was the point of that? To herself? Who there speaks that language? None of them, right? Only her and Damon, who like none of the like Alan doesn't know it. So everyone was like, okay, this is the
Do you
part
think
that's what's going on here.
do you think that Rhaenyra kind of turning Mad Queen was handled better than Daenerys turning Mad Queen?
Yeah, because it was a slow burn. It's been a very slow burn, but you've seen the cracks and you've kind of seen. I will say, Rhaenyra in the books, it's not like she does a ton. You know what I mean? And that's what there was a debate about this on Reddit where they were like, all these people who are complaining about show Rhaenyra, it's not like she does a ton in the books. It's more about how she does it in the books.
Mm.
And she was a little firmer in the books from the word go, which is what me and Chris have been calling for. But she does get that sort of Maegor with, they call her Maegor with teats in the books because Maegor was Maegor the Cruel, one of her ancestors. And I think this is the point where she's gotten there. It's just very late in the game.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, Rhaenyra's decision making in the books came from her trying to solidify her power. This to me is like a reach that doesn't really make sense. It's like, again, one of these, I think we've said it probably 3 or 4 times this year, but A plus B leading to like Y or Z or something like, you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
fighting for this anointment is not really solidifying your power. Listening to Damon and going and killing all your enemies is solidifying your power. Locking up your enemies or being overly paranoid and locking up people who you think threaten you are, is solidifying your power, which is what happens in the books. But going and doing this, I don't really understand it, but we'll see how it plays out.
I think it's just, again, it's Rhaenyra grasping for,
Dang
she's
it.
very validation heavy. She's got a validation kink. That's what she got from my Syria last episode was her little validation kink when she was like, "Do you deem me worthy?" You know, and it's then she sent her to
Yep.
Pentos. Um, from there, the Gwaine is running around Tumbleton looking for Darren. The Winter Wolves begin their charge. It's sick. They're like banging their drums, they're banging their shields. Roddy's screaming. He's like, "Shoot your fucking arrows!" And then they just start running. They're gonna go soften them up.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is where I let you kind of take the reins and start running through
There's
this.
a lot. There's a lot. Okay, so then Ormond hears the battle has begun, and he also hears of the terms because they're like, "We sent terms," and Ormond's like, "What do you mean we sent terms? I didn't allow any terms." So he's pissed. Darren is kind of missing. Gwaine's running around looking for him. Roddy is and the Winter Wolves are getting absolutely torched with arrows and ballistae. Is that what it's called? They get to the ramparts. They putting ladders up. They're pouring hot oil and pitch on them. And finally, the Winter Wolves are able to breach the walls. And Roddy just starts swinging on everybody, including one of the little kids hits him with like a thing. And Roddy fucking houses the kid. He doesn't give a shit.
Dude, bad move by that kid.
Yeah, bad call, kid. Bad call. Whose side are you on? Um, the River Lords start to attack. We get a really cool shot of Black Allie on a horse, and she like looses arrows while like strafe running. It's pretty cool. Damon um kind of runs in and he finds out he's like Ulf is missing. He's like, "What do you mean Ulf is missing?" There's a lot of confusion. There's a ton of confusion. Hugh Hammer shows up on Vermithor. He's like, he's supposed to be at King's Landing, so mass hysteria. He sees Hugh running around killing people because he's running to look for his wife. Gwaine finally finds Darren. He's like, "We gotta fucking go." Roddy finds Lord Hightower. They start duking it out. Damon and Big John Roxton get in a fight. There's a lot going on. Damon has to actually breach the gates with Caraxes, and he
Mm.
torches kids to do it. A lot of innocents dying. A lot of
Time
chaos.
out on that one. Did anyone else notice that Caraxes blasts innocent kids to get through there, but then just stops his blasting? So when like Damon rides in on horseback, there's like 50 men waiting for him with crossbows and spears and everything.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it just have been like an easy like one more Dracarys to get through that on the
Yeah, but
inside?
the kids though deserved it because they were blocking the gate. You know, there's no honor in killing someone with dragon fire unless they're blocking a gate. So Damon wanted to 1v1 them on horseback, you know.
Got
Um,
it.
and so then Damon's in there. There's a lot of chaos. He sees Ulf now is in there, or Hugh, I should say, is running around going after Cat. Roddy is a great line when he sees the Riverlords breach the gate. He's like, the gate is open and we're still fucking alive because he wants, you know. So, um, Ulf finally is found. He's drunk. Ormond beats the shit out of him and is like, go get Silverwing and do what I said. Ulf begins torching everybody. The blacks, the greens. Corlys is shook. He realizes that something not good has happened, and the Riverlords are getting absolutely housed by Silverwing. Ormond gets killed by Roddy. Mass hysteria. And John Roxon and Damon have a great fight, but they get separated. Neither one of them dies.
It's I'm curious, and probably he was panicking and just trying to get to Cat as quickly as possible, but I wonder if it crossed his mind knowing that the blacks were trying to sack the city nicely, right? And like not really rape and pillage. Like the only threat that Cat could have had would have been like Dragonfire.
Yeah.
Uh, so I guess like my like why wouldn't Hugh kind of be like, all right, I'll just like fly around on Vermithor and make sure no one's torching the city. But I guess in that moment, like you said, mass hysteria, he probably didn't really put that together, but he could have taken down Silverwing pretty quickly.
Yeah, I don't know. But she didn't look like she looked dead at the end. He finds her and she looks
Oh
dead,
yeah.
but not by
He
like
rushes
dragon fire.
he rushes into
Yeah.
the city before Ulf is found, before Ulf gets on his dragon. So I don't think he realized there would be a dragon to attack the city. I think he's just worried about her getting caught in the melee.
I think so too. Yeah,
But he could, I mean, I guess Caraxes could attack the city, right?
that's true.
It's
Yeah.
true.
No, just kids.
Yeah.
Caraxes is just a kid's attacker. Um, so anyways, Roddy 1v1s Ormond. He stabs him, kills him, and then they both die in Dragonfire because Ulf torches the ramparts as well. Ulf is going off on everybody. Um, Gwaine wakes up. He's looking for Daron. Daron is nowhere to be found. We cut back to King's Landing. Alinda is like, Rhaenyra, Queen Rhaenyra, come quick. Something's happened. Rhaenyra goes into Helena's quarters. Helena's not there, and the window's open. Helena, unfortunately, took the Tommen route. She jumped out the window, and Rhaenyra kind of like is like at first kind of like, and then she's like, eh. And then she looks at the tapestry, and she's more interested in the tapestry because she sees Helena drew, or I guess stitched her own jumping, and then Rhaenyra sees herself on the throne. She sees big red, you know, billowy sort of ornament on it as well. And I think Rhaenyra is more like, huh, I wonder what this means. And kind of like no sold Helena's death. She was like, well, should have ate. This is what happens when you don't eat. Fall out windows.
Great job running through that.
Thank you.
Rhaenyra at the end of this is completely, she's lost now. I think they made that clear with her kind of brushing off Helena's death after trying to keep her alive. In that tapestry, I actually couldn't even make out if it was Rhaenyra or another Targaryen
Aegon.
monarch on there. But it did look like they were bleeding all over the throne. There were dragons and people burning in the background. So whoever was on the throne, I think they're ruling over chaos and death.
Yeah. Yeah, it was not a good sign, but that was House of the Dragon, Season 3, Episode 8, The Treasons at Tumbleton. I need a cigarette.
Yeah, that was lit. And also, I forgot to add the note, but Ormond performed pretty well in that fight against Roddy. I mean,
Cut off
he
Roddy's
was giving
hand.
business.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
killed a lot of guys until Roddy stabbed him, I think in the butt.
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, and he made a kind of a getting fucked by the North type joke.
yeah.
And then honestly at that point I would have welcomed the dragon fire.
Same.
Yeah. Before we get into the segments, that was not just episode 8, that was season 3. And
Mhm.
we'll be back in 2 years for season 4. But before we do that, Here is a rundown of all the named characters we lost in season three, and this is in no order of importance. Kat, Ulf's or Hugh's wife, I should say. I think she's dead.
Strong
She was-
start. Strong start.
Jasper Wilde, the High Septon, right? We lost Vermax. We lost Sharko Lohar, Admiral Lohar, of course, of the Triarchy. We lost Sir Adrian. He was a Queen's Guard who went with Alicent and immediately got fucking one pieced by Aemond. We lost Jason Lannister, Otto Hightower, Luther Largent, Roderick Dustin, Simon Strong, Kristen Cole, Ormond Hightower, Helena Targaryen, and of course, Crown Prince Jacaerys Valerian. Wowza. A lot of deaths. Biggest one, of course, being Otto Hightower.
Jace probably, but yeah.
Jace, no, no, no. Disagree. Sheep Stealer might not be dead. I don't think Sheep Stealer's dead. But we lost a lot. Damon, at the end of that episode, taking toll. Darren is missing. Gwaine was looking for him in the rubble, couldn't find him. John Roxton's alive. The Greens, who won that battle? I don't know. Doesn't matter. We'll get to it. Ratings. Kinzie, what do you rate that episode?
Um, I went with a 9.3.
Wow.
I thought it was great. I was gonna go higher, and then I felt like after talking through it, I went a little lower. So there's just
No worries.
some
That
qualms,
tends
but
to happen.
Yeah,
I mean, I thought it was a hell of a finale. I enjoyed it.
I agree, Chris.
I gave it a 9.4. Very similar.
Wow.
Loved the action. Loved Damon being bloodthirsty. I love, in contrast to season two, we actually got the payoff that we had been waiting for throughout the whole season. So that was nice of them to deliver
Yeah.
that to us.
Got the money shot.
And and Aegon and Aemond reuniting was an interesting scene that I enjoyed.
I enjoyed it as well. And this is, I'm not making this up. 9.2,
Wow.
9.2, 9.3,
Wow.
9.4.
Wow.
Um, all the reasons you guys said. Don't even need to repeat it. Best line, Yas Queen. I'll go first. My Yas Queen was Ulf when he was drunk in the tavern, and he said, "The rogue prince will soon quake before the mighty and terrible Ulf the White." And just because he was drunk, he was being silly. And I also, having read the books, knew Ulf was going to do a bit of a turn cloak move, but kind of both ways. He didn't really turn cloak fully. He just went into business for himself, which isn't that the most turn cloak thing to do? Um,
Yeah.
and best line, Rhaenyra to Daemon. He is risen. The he in question, Aegon Targaryen. He's back in a big way. Everyone's shaken. He is resurrected. He is the chosen one, the anointed Aegon Targaryen.
Um, I'll follow up. My best line was the Queen's moral standing must remain absolute. And that was Damon to the Black War Council. And I had it as my best line because he didn't realize that the Queen's moral standing had already been compromised by that time, due to the whole quandary of her murdering the High Sept. So found that a little funny when I was watching it. And my Yas Queen was from Sir Roderick Dustin riding the ruin to Ormond Hightower after he got a knife in his ass. That's a proper fucking from the north.
Fine. Great line. Kins?
I like it. My best line was, and I might have gotten this not perfect, but I think it was Alan, right? That's the older brother. Alan
Mhm.
saying to the Valerian reinforcements. Valerian?
Yeah.
Why am I wrong there?
Valerian. Yep.
Okay. Really questioning myself, but he says something like, I am your current and future Lord of the Tides or
Yeah, it was
something.
sick. I like that
Yeah.
line too. That
Yep.
was a good one.
And then
Very
my,
presumptuous to of him.
yeah, you called him Alan the Ambitious. Is that like the book title?
Yeah. No, I guess no,
No,
that was
no.
Adam just throwing flames at him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. And then my Yas Queen, I liked when Aegon smacks Aemond and just goes, "I'm alive."
He did say it very funny. He
It
did
was
his
great.
like gave like a comedic delivery, and I
Yeah.
guarantee you the actor was like, "That's not going to make it in." And it's the one he literally went, "I'm alive."
Bitch.
It was great.
Uh,
I
I
love
like
I,
those
it
scenes.
I did kind of think it was like one of those dreams again. So
too.
having this smack and be like, I'm alive. I was like, oh, it's real.
Dude, if it was a dream, all of a sudden Eamon starts getting in them bridges, and those two start getting it on, because that's what happens
Oh,
at
come
Harrenhal.
on.
That's what happens. Well, come on, what are you talking about? Is that worse than his mom? I mean, at least the siblings. Aegon's married to
All
their other
bad.
sibling. This would just be, keep it in the family.
All bad.
It is all bad. It's all
That's good
bad.
stuff.
That being said, my hottest moment was the Aegon and Aemon reunion. Not because I was thinking about that, but because the scene itself, I thought was pretty great. It was great to see him. I would love to see Aemon commit himself to Aegon and be like, you know what? I will help you take your throne.
Great. Yeah, you were thinking it. You were thinking
I
it when you
wasn't.
selected that.
I was like, is this a dream? Let's see what happens.
They're gonna kiss and
My
make up.
hottest
Yeah.
my hottest moment was the Winter Wolves storming the Tumbleton walls. Great scene. Was sweating through it. Love it.
My hottest moment was Ulf burning Ormond, and he was just like, "Fuck you too." And he just
Great line. It's a great line.
Hmm.
He did do like at the end of Hit 'Em Up by Tupac, where he just says "fuck you too" to a bunch of different people. He's like listing people. He's like, "All you motherfuckers, fuck you too." It's great. Um, but so interestingly enough, Chris, I was going to ask you before we get into Mount Rushmore. I feel like of all the Thrones battles, especially with like taking a castle, this one had like a lot of realism to it in that initial charge of like getting ladders up, hot pitch being thrown down,
Mhm.
and just sort of like the wolves probably were able to get over the wall a little easier than if it were real life. I think it takes a minute, but a long distance to cover and a lot of ballistae and like arrows being shot at them.
Yeah, it was. I also picked up on that as far as like the siege weapons and the battlements and things like that. The one thing that I thought was a little bit unbelievable was, and this happens in almost every war scene that's based in like medieval times or whatever it may be, but the charging, when you looked at it, how far away they were to where the walls were, and they were charging without any sort of like, tortoise formation or shield wall or anything like that. Like they would have been
Picked apart.
decimated by the archers. Yeah.
They were so far away too, and they were running full sprint. I would have had to have stopped like four times.
Oh
Like,
yeah. In armor with
oh,
shields.
oh, dude, fucking I got a cramp. Be like, what is this? Be like, oh my God, the gates are still far. I feel like the castle's moving. That would be me as a soldier. I'd be like, Roddy, maybe we hold back for a minute. Maybe we all take five. We all take a knee. Um, Mount Rushmore. It's a great segment. This is where we kind of rank things. We make a little Mount Rushmore of the best in a draft formation. Worst lays in Westeros. Chris, this was your idea, or this was a meme sent by a friend of the pod, right?
This one's fun. I think Allie actually sent this to us
Oh,
on
guess it.
Twitter,
Yeah.
and yeah, friend of the pod sent it to us on Twitter, and they the tweet was Ormond has to be the absolute worst lay in Westeros. So we're opening it up to the pod, and we'll see who actually is the worst lay.
I think
I'll lead us off.
I don't think Ormond's the worst. I doubt it. Go ahead, lead us off, Chris.
Tell us how strongly you feel about that.
I doubt it.
I'll lead us off. My number one pick is Grey Worm.
That
Yeah.
checks. Yeah, yeah, makes sense.
So.
Makes sense. But him and
I was gonna
Masani
say,
do get it on in
that's
the one
Jamie.
scene.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. Does he strap it up or what?
Probably. My number one pick is the Night King because he's too cold.
Oh,
Way too cold. Way too
Okay.
cold. Kins.
I was thinking along the same lines as Sims, and I went with Lord Varys, eunuch.
Ah,
Mhm.
yeah. He also would just tell everyone all your secrets.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I had both of those. I had both of those two as my next two picks. So
Oh,
we're
you're
we're
screwed.
digging we're digging in the depths right now. I'm gonna go with Caraxes.
Wow.
He's a little bit too long. Sometimes length is just you don't want to be too long. You know what I mean?
But there's that one freak in Westeros, like Sir Hands. He would try. That's a deep reference to early 2000s internet culture. Um, my number two pick is all of the guys who had sex with Daenerys. I bet they suck at it. The poor queen, that's why she went crazy. She deserved better. We all know it.
yeah.
Dario Naharis sucked. Jon Snow sucked. Khal Drogo sucked. Daenerys deserved better. She is still my queen and my moon and my stars.
Feels like a little bit of the jealousy monster getting to you there,
Not
Sheedy.
jealousy at all. Not jealousy at
All
all.
right. My second pick was late Viserys, like when he's fully crumbling.
Wow, that's
Mm,
yeah.
mm.
Because he would do that old joke. He'd be like, "Hey, keep the tip," because
Oh,
he's falling apart.
oh my gosh. No.
Uh,
Oh, my
But
third pick is my third pick is Ned Stark. And it's he's just stiff. He loves
yeah,
missionary.
lights off,
Uh
under the
lights
covers.
yeah, couldn't lights off, room darkening shades. He's
Yeah,
yeah. And he's
yeah.
crying afterwards. He's a little
no.
ashamed of himself, but he's doing
It
his duty.
That's
did make a lot of babies though.
that's it. It's
Exactly. He does
they
his
only
duty.
do it. He only does it for procreation.
For yeah, work. Okay,
There's
good.
no fun. There's no fun to be had for him. My third is my Syria, which early season one loved my Syria. Now can't stand her. It's the accent. The actress just doesn't. It's not consistent. I'm not saying it's the accent. It's the actor. I don't think it's portrayed well on the show. Is what I'm saying. Um, I would be so mad listening to it, and I would be like, just tell Rhaenyra something.
Okay, so I'll pick somebody else, but I had her for the same reason. I was like, she literally hooked up with Rhaenyra, and Rhaenyra, it must have been so bad she sent her away.
That's a great point. Rhaenyra's like, get the fuck out of here.
Like turns on her immediately, no other reason. It's like, yeah, I picked Damon. You were so bad in bed. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with everything he said. But I'll pick someone else. Okay. I had on here Jamie Lannister because, you don't want a guy who's in love with his sister.
That's a good one. That's a good
That's a
one. I
that's
want.
a
I
great
guess we'd
point.
have to ask Cersei though. You never know.
Cersei stayed with him for a long time.
True.
Mine's similar. I'm going with Aemond because you don't want someone who's in love with their mom,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh.
in love, not someone who loves their mom. I feel like that's pretty standard, but in love with your mom.
Wow. Yeah. You do kind of want someone though who kind of has problems with like with like their those people who kind of are like have problems with their parents a little bit. Not like in love with them, but has problems with them. Like, yeah, I'm a rebel. That's cool.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
He
My
takes
fourth
it a little
pick.
far though, I think.
Yeah, Eamon's issues are like real bad. My fourth pick is going to be a surprise because I think I've asked her to hit me up a million times on this podcast. Rhaenyra Targaryen. Uh, dude,
Mm.
she honestly would be following you around afterwards, being like, Was I good at it? Was I good at it?" Looking for validation. She'd be like, "You would anoint me in front of the small folk, right?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, sure." You'd have 8 missed texts from her, and it would be like, "Hey, what's up? Just wondering if you think I would be queen. Am I good at queen?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, you're good at it. You're great at it." She'd be like, "Cool. Just wanted to know. Anyway, want to go to Pentos?" And I'd be like, "Sure, go to Pentos. Whatever you want." I love her. I think she's awesome, but man, just annoying as fuck. Stop texting me.
Why do you think Damon just goes on warpaths all the time? He's like,
I
get me the
know.
fuck out of here.
It's healthy balance. Healthy balance. She's like, I gotta go be with my boys for a little. Sweetie, I gotta go be with my boy. You have fun with your little coronation with, whatever your third kid's name is. I'm gonna go to war. Also, what's going on with Viserys and Aegon? Never mind. Kinsey, what's your fourth pick?
I'm gonna go with Theon Greyjoy
Mm.
because he was just, a little wimpy kid. Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I mean, he did have a redemption arc, but I still don't think I'd want to hook up with him.
Good call. Good call. Theon Greyjoy, him, and Ramsey would be on the list too because I feel like he would be just
He was,
intense.
yeah, on the list.
Oh yeah. Although he had a thing with the one girl who was also sadistic. So
That's true. You find your tribe, guys. You find your tribe. There's someone for everyone. Um, from there we go to You Blew It. You Blew It is a segment where we pick the person who blew it in the episode, had the worst episode in our opinion, due to their character choices, not like poorly written. I'll go first. Mine is easy. Bela for calling out Rhaenyra. That is your queen. Don't do that.
Mine
I'll
is,
So
I'll go
so
next.
so
Oh yeah, you
Bela.
could go, Kens.
Oh, I gotta say, Bela,
Oh wait, you're right.
You blew it.
you blew it.
You blew it, Bayla. I kind of blew it by cutting off your you blew it.
It's all
yeah.
right. Doesn't matter.
Chunky.
Kinsey,
Kens, you're up.
Okay, my you blew it was Ulf for, one getting drunk is so drunk he can't even fulfill his one mission, but then not really picking a side at the end of the day
Good
because he's
call.
just like impulsive and really hungover.
So Ulf,
You blew it.
you blew it.
You blew
You
it.
blew it.
We don't
It
love you, but you blew it.
a quick aside too. He would have been good. You said getting too drunk to fulfill his one mission. He should have been on worse lays.
That's true.
Mm,
Whiskey Dick.
mm, good point.
Yeah.
Good point. Mine was Hugh Hammer.
Mm.
He went in with a mission to save Cat. Failed, it looked like. So Hugh Hammer.
You blew it.
You blew it.
You blew it, bud. Also, Sheets, what did you think of? I thought Hugh Hammer and Adam of Hall were mishandled in Tumbleton in general.
Um,
What were your thoughts of book versus show?
so I don't know what their plan is for season four, but I don't think I would think based on without giving away too much, Tumbleton still has a role to play. I don't see how you continue the
Yeah.
story without it. I think 100% Adam, Hugh. I think Ulf was handled poorly. I think Ulf also burning the greens was a little confusing, and I think Daron was handled poorly for not getting on Tessarion. I thought this is the Dance of Dragons. The dragons haven't really danced much. We saw a ground fight 2 episodes ago that's not in the books. So, um, I would assume in the future those dragons will dance a little bit. Daron, they cut Honeywine completely. So Daron is being called Daron the Daring right now for no fucking reason. Which in the books, by this
Yes,
point, he's like a 15-year-old who is shrouded in glory. So I think Daron, Adam, and Hugh both are being handled poorly. I think Ulf is being handled better than those three, but not
agreed.
great.
Well said.
Yeah, without giving away too much. Crown their ass. Let's crown everybody. Crown their ass as the MVP of the episode. Kins, who was your MVP this episode?
I went with Roderick.
It's hard. It's hard to be anyone else. He was pretty sick. He was pretty sick. Sims.
You'll be happy to know that I crowned Aegon Targaryen back-to-back weeks. Uh, it's hard. Like, listen, the guy is being hailed as the resurrected hero of the Seven Kingdoms right now. So
Mm.
he's hot right now.
Should I bring back Aegon's Fallen Angels? I feel like I should.
Well, you got to resurrect it.
It's tough. We had to disband.
Aegon didn't let anything slow him down. All right, he was at death's door and he came back. So I feel like if you're truly Aegon's fallen angels, then make it
Whoa,
happen.
dude. Yes. Love that. Love that. My crown their ass is, well, maybe Aegon's Fallen Angels, but it's not. My crown their ass is all of the Winter Wolves, including Roddy. They just had an MVP episode. Damon gave them an objective. They did it in spades. They got over the walls. They put an absolute huge dent in the Hightower army. Who won that battle? We don't know. Chris, strategy with Lord Mims for both sides. What now?
This one, in our pre-production, I saw this in the notes. It's tough because I kind of know what happened, so I don't want to be pretentious and spoil it for everyone. But I do think we should visit that question that you asked for a second: is who won this battle? Is it conclusive? I mean, Ormond dying on the green side is a huge loss, I think, right? So you lose your commander, you've lost the city, kind of. I mean, are the blacks going to come back? Are they fully fleeing? I don't know. Um, Darren appears to be alive. So he's still probably honestly flying around on Tessarion at this point. Um, Gawain is still alive somehow. I don't know how he survived this far. So looping that back into strategy with Lord Mems, I think the greens are up right now. You know, Sunfire is obviously able to fly around the Seven Kingdoms at this point. So you get Vagar, and now you're all of a sudden going to straighten out and get everyone aligned at Tumbleton on the green side, and your position is way stronger than the blacks now, I think, if you can get Tessarion, Sunfire, and Vagar together. And, Ulf and Silverwing, if they're fully loyal to the Greens, I don't know if he'll have to answer for his crimes with burning some of the, green hosts. So I think that's next for the Greens. For the Blacks, I honestly think Rhaenyra has lost the small folk. You can't just do what she did at the High Sept and have nothing happen. There's going to be consequences to that. Masseria will probably contribute to some of those consequences, right? She saw everything. She's running around free at this point. So I think the Black Host is probably scattered a little bit. Damon's probably going to be disillusioned because I don't know if he's lost a battle since the Stepstones, and then he came back and won that war. So there's a lot wrong happening for the Blacks right now, and I don't know how you recover. Especially, I mean, the caveats always is Sunfire and Vagar getting to Tumbleton.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, they're kind of scattered. They got to get their shit back together. Maybe bounce back to Dragonstone. Maybe, go directly to Harrenhal and try to kill Vagar and Sunfire. I don't know. We'll find out next season. We'll find out in 2 years.
100%. I want to make a few quick points too about what you said. A couple of things. One, the small folk, Rhaenyra being a woman does matter. It just does. Not to us, obviously, in our futuristic world. To them, it does. Corlys even says it to Daemon. He's like, they just, even the lords that bent the knee to her, he's like, in their head, they don't, they're just not, they're not fully with it.
Yep.
Two, 100%. Me and Sims earlier in the season suggested Rhaenyra should kill the High Sept. How Orwell suggested it, which was maybe we kind of remove him and put someone else in there, which you do Varys style. Maybe you get your Mistress of Whisperers to get that done. You don't do a big public lead an army in there, kill them all, and then come out and coronate yourself in front of everyone. That's not the way to go about it.
Mhm.
And then three, wouldn't it have been great if when Aegon was like talking to Aemon, he's like, "We're gonna go to Tumbleton and we're gonna torch shit, but first, me, you, the High Sept, I'm getting coronated again." Because it's like obviously very important to them. But yeah, no, couldn't have said it better myself, Chris.
Where does how do you think Alice plays a role in the future now?
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, man. That's a good question. Like, and not only the future, but like the future. Like, how does she keep going on? Is she at Harrenhal when like Tywin is there with Arya? Like, I don't know what the intention of the show is, but like, is she gonna be with Aemon's child?
Hmm. I also am curious what the show's going to do with Alicent from here on. It's like I feel like they were setting up a an alliance between her and Mysaria, White Worm, but
Yeah,
like she just tried to kill her son and failed, so he's not going to welcome her back.
that's true.
Also, where did she find the men that she was camping with at the end of the episode?
I think those were some of Rhaenyra's men, like outside Harrenhal. They did travel with a bunch there, so I think they
Got it.
strategically
Got
stayed
it.
near. It's
Only one was a
we're
yeah.
doing our own math there because they didn't show us. But interestingly, she did see those butterflies, which was a Helena reference. It's almost
Mhm.
like Helena,
Yeah.
I don't know, telling her that she's
Oh, that reminds me too. I thought it was cool when Helena mentioned this beetle that grows only in King's Landing, and it like destroys everything that gets close to it. It's beautiful, but it destroys everything that gets close to it. Um, Definitely, it was a foreshadowing from the beginning of the episode to the end. So,
Mm.
yeah. No, I love that. I love that. We'll get more into this in a second. Let's quickly knock out this segment, trial by combat, where I come up with something. I had a simple one this time because I rewatched a movie that I saw this year that I really liked, which was called Obsession. Have you guys seen Obsession?
not yet. I need to though.
I'm going to
It's
tell you that
streaming on Peacock.
it is. It's on streaming on Peacock. Watch now. We're going to be doing an Obsession podcast next. But sort of the gist of it, and this is from the trailers. I'm not spoiling anything. This guy likes this girl who he's really good friends with. She views him like a brother. He doesn't have the balls to ask her out, so he has this little thing called a One Wish Willow, and he breaks it and says, her character name is Nikki Freeman. He says, "I wish Nikki Freeman loved me more than anyone in the world," and he breaks it. And this poor girl then is cursed, like, and is like crazy obsessed with him, and it's really intense. And I remember watching it thinking, this is really a good movie. But then I was like, huh, how does the One Wish Willow know he meant her? So I looked it up, and there are an estimated 500 plus Nikki Freemans in the world. So my movie idea is called Obsessions. And he says it and he breaks it, and the fucking magic can't discern like which one is he talking about. So all the Nickies, and even maybe throw some Nicoles in there, and all these ladies are sort of like clawing after him. 500 Nikki Freeman's just charging his door. Um, yeah,
Wow.
that's my idea. Obsessions, because like I was like, how do they know what name? Like, is it that powerful where it could pick up that he's talking about her? He was just talking to her, so maybe that's it. But I don't know. So I think that would be a more interesting angle where every Nikki Freeman in the world now is obsessed with this guy.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm in. I'm in. Actually, it kind of reminds me, what's the name of the movie where they snap the thing and all the kids go chasing
Oh,
after
weapons.
Mm.
weapons? Yeah, it would be Nikki as the weapons.
It's weird. It was a big year for like snapping things. Just saying.
Wait,
So
how many dragons have died this season?
Vermax,
Vermax. That's it?
Vermax. Where's Aegon and Viserys?
Yeah.
Rhaenyra has two more
Wow.
sons with
Yeah.
Daemon. Where are they? What's going on with them? Does anyone know where Aegon and Viserys are? Does Rhaenyra know where Aegon and Viserys is? Does she care?
They're not even mentioned. The fact when Joffrey showed up and we're like, oh shit, like he's still in the picture, but then Aegon and Viserys haven't been mentioned, and they're such like a critical part of
They're
the
heirs to the
books.
throne.
Yeah,
This whole
I was
family
thinking
is
about
important.
this.
What's up?
I was thinking about this and like ways you could defend it, but I'm like I'm wondering if they're trying to make a play that like she's still so grieving over her other two sons that she doesn't want to be close to her sons because the I don't know, but I again that's me reaching. That's not
No,
necessarily the show telling us that.
that's fine. Rhaenyra could want that space, but the show needs to
Of
somehow
it. Yeah.
tell the viewer what those two are. Just show them in Pentos fucking dancing and living their
well,
life, just so
you
you're
I
like,
mean, you don't even have to show it. You could do like in season one when, or was it toward the end of season one or the beginning of season two when Otto like briefly mentions that Darren was off
two, season
learning
two.
at Old Town. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all you have to do.
Just do one of those.
Hey, by the way, Viserys and Aegon are doing great. That's it. Just let us know how they're doing. Remind the audience, because next season, out of nowhere, if you're like, and these are also Rhaenyra's sons after a 2 year gap, where really it's a four. I mean, since we've seen them, it'll be like a 4 year gap, maybe a 6 year. Did we even see him in season two? It might have been season one. People are going to be like, whose kids are those? You know?
Pretty important characters.
Yeah. So, but a couple of things I want to say about the season of House of the Dragon. Redeemed itself from season two, big time. They brought the action. It will never be, and me and Chris have said this in every episode, so it's almost a little nauseating. It'll never be its full potential. But I urge watchers of the show, enjoy the parts of it that you want to enjoy. Don't be caught up in like I already tonight saw clickbait. It was like, yeah, House of the Dragon brings fire and blood, but it's not Game of Thrones. And it's like, not a single one of these spin-offs. I loved A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I like House of the Dragon. Aegon's Conquest could be really cool. None of them are ever going to be Game of Thrones. That was a seminal TV event at a time when there was nothing like it. Now you have fucking Lord of the Rings. They're making Harry Potter. There's going to probably be a Superman Batman TV show soon enough. It'll never, none of this will ever be what Game of Thrones was. So don't fall for the clickbait and the negativity that just exists because we are a cesspool of humanity that loves to just dunk on fun.
Agreed. Well said. There's an element of Game of Thrones having four full novels already written, or five, right? There's an element of that where it was adapted to TV masterfully by D&D, and after that, after those novels were done, it dropped off a cliff, and everyone complained, and it really like blew up in everyone's faces. So
Yeah.
right now we're seeing stuff being portrayed that's not full novels, right? And Night of the Seven Kingdoms are novellas, which were portrayed masterfully on screen. And I think season two we'll see more of that continuing. But this is, we've talked about ad nauseum. It's more of an encyclopedia sort of history type, I guess, piece of literature as opposed to a novel. So
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of liberties that the writers can take, and in Hollywood, you're going to get their, you know, I guess what's the word I'm looking for here? What
Finn.
they want to
Yeah.
make it look like. Yeah, their spin on it. So this is what we're seeing, and it's fun and it's
Yep.
entertaining, and let's enjoy it.
And George R. R. Martin, I love you, but you doth protest a little too much. That's all I'm going to say.
I guess
Finish
if
Winds of Winter.
Yeah.
Finish wins, and also he wrote a history book and published it and made a fortune off of it. And it is just a book of Spark Notes. That's all it is. And he's over here writing blogs about how much it failed. And it's like, buddy, you didn't give them much.
Mm.
All right. And the truth is, me and Chris are mad about what Rhaenyra's like vibe is. Not even really what she's doing, because she doesn't really there's parts in the books where none of these characters really do much. So the show has to make do. That being said, thank you guys for listening. The Thronies is our last episode, happens next week. We're going to be doing a lot of polls on our Instagram between Wednesday of this week and Saturday. Please vote, because that'll be who determines the winners.
Yeah.
Anything else, gang?
Um, yeah, let's get your votes in because we're gonna you could have an opportunity to win some cool Deep Throne stuff. You could have an opportunity to potentially, hang out with this crew in the future. So get those votes in. Let's have some fun next weekend.
Yeah, let's do it. Kinsey, thank you, as always.
Yeah.
Sims, thank you, as always.
Hell of a
And
season, guys. Hell of a season.
hell of a season. And
Yes.
Allison, hit me up. I bet you're one of the best lays in Westeros.
Whips, check out the handle, switch, shooters on swoosh, hitters don't miss. Aria just added a ton of y'all to my list. Bitch, death wish, not to be messed with, tested quiz. They shooting shots.